according to press reports, it was suggested that it was around this time things became so difficult that you actually tried to injure yourself. Is that true?
When no one listens to you, or you feel no one's listening to you, all sorts of things start to happen. For instance, you have so much pain inside yourself that you try and hurt yourself on the outside because you want help, but it's the wrong help you're asking for. People see it as crying wolf or attention seeking, and they think because you're in the media all the time, you've got enough attention, inverted commas. But I was actually crying out because I wanted to get better in order to go forward. I didn't like myself. I was ashamed that I couldn't cope with the pressures. Well, I just hurt my arms and my legs. And I work in environments now where I see women doing similar things, and I'm able to understand completely where they're coming from.
The queen she just, like, come on. I used to love her so much. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell if you want to. The question of the day is, what percentage are you? Like, do you think this was definitely the work of the royal family, or do you, like, think, I'm like half and half, or like, you're crazy, this is a conspiracy? Let me know. Enjoy the video.
Everything talked about in this video is completely my opinion and alleged.
Do you think you'll ever be queen?
No, I don't. No.
Why do you think that?
I'd like to be a queen of people's heart, but I don't see myself being queen of this country. I don't think many people would want me to be queen. Actually, when I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into, because they've decided that I'm a non-starter.
Why do you think they've decided that?
Because I do things differently. Because I don't go by a rule book. Because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work, I understand that. But someone's got to go out there and love people and show it. They see me as a threat of some kind. And I'm here to do good. I'm not a destructive person.
Why do they see you as a threat?
I think every strong woman in history has had to walk down a similar path. And I think it's the strength that causes the confusion and the fear. Why is she strong? Where does she get it from? Where is she taking it? Where is she going to use it?
Hello everyone, my name is Michelle, and I can't fucking see anything because when I wear my glasses in my videos, I don't know if it bothers you guys, but it really bothers me. I'm house sitting right now and I'm using their, what's this thing called? Ring light. When I wear my glasses, there's like 15 and you can't even see my eyes. When you do it like this, it's like, my eyes are blue, bitch. I'm really excited to talk to you about today's sponsor. I know it's really exciting because it's my first sponsor, so I'm really excited to tell you guys about it. Goldfish. Look in the description and you will find a bill to sign to send to the government to make all of the Subways, all of the places that sells chips, to also sell a bag of goldfish. Because it's just immoral. Okay, I'll stop. Today we're going to be talking about Princess Diana. When I ask literally anyone, if I ask my dad, my mom, this really nice elderly lady, I walk her dog, and like sometimes I just pry about the past without like making it obvious that I'm doing it because she's elderly and like has lived through the 80s, 90s, 2000s. It's like bizarre. When I personally imagine all of these years, I just imagine the most stereotypical version of it. I imagine like people in the 70s were all like hippies, smoking the bud, and like peace out everyone. But then you got the 80s, everyone's getting perms and like disco, and I really hope that this is true. And then the 90s, you have like, I don't even know, like Princess Diana dying. That was bad though. Princess Diana of Wales was born on the 1st of July, she was Cancer, of 1961, and unfortunately passed away on the 31st of August, 1997. If you're curious what her connection to the royal family is now, you know Harry and... how do I not remember his name? William! Prince William married Kate, and she's just too beautiful for life, and everyone was so excited about it. But most recently, Harry married Meghan Markle, who's an American actress, and this was like a huge thing, especially because she was the first person of color that was a part of the royal family. I guarantee you, if Diana was alive, Still, she would have been just thrilled about that. The other thing you have to know about Princess Diana is that everybody loved her. People didn't care about Prince Charles. When there was paparazzi, everyone was screaming, "Diana, Diana!" She married Prince Charles when she was 19 years old, and she was just such a little angel baby. She was just an advocate of everything. One of the most important things that she was a part of is getting rid of the stigma of AIDS, and she was the first person to publicly shake someone's hand who has AIDS and say, "It's fine, you're not gonna get AIDS from shaking someone's hand." Diana actually grew up playing with Charles as kids, and as they got older, like, she always had this sort of little girl crush on him, like little sister crush, how you always have a friend on your best friend's older brother. She had a little crush because he was so much older than her. I don't know what is going on with, like, I seriously don't understand why they got married in the first place. They didn't like each other. Prince Charles, who she married, was already in a relationship with Camilla. Obviously, nobody knew about this until a very long time. He's still with Camilla today. I'm not really sure about the whole situation, but someone said, like, "Oh, Charles got COVID and the Queen might have COVID." And I was like, good. My mom, dad, and sister were like, "What? That's so mean. You can't say that." And I was like, well, you don't fucking understand. She definitely, in my opinion, she definitely was a part of this. I'm sorry. I don't even mean, she is a part. She is this. Prince Charles was like, okay, I gotta get on with my life. I gotta start having the offspring so that they can become the next royal. And I don't know why he didn't just fucking get with Camilla, but he decided to marry Princess Diana. She didn't agree at first, but she agreed after the second time. Something that Charles actually did in all his interviews, when people said, "Well, do you love Diana?" he was like, "Of course I love her, whatever love means." And Diana was just crushed by this. She said it was traumatizing. Something that the royals didn't like about Diana was that she was just different from the exact way that every single royal in history had to be. She chose her own ring out of a catalog. She took the word "I will obey you" out of their wedding vows. And she raised Harry and, William! Why do I always forget his name? William is important. He will be king after the Queen dies, and then Charles will be king, but he's probably gonna keep it until he dies because they're all so selfish they cannot hand down the throne. But eventually William will be king. She took her kids to public McDonald's. She refused to have a nanny. She had the nanny take care of them as least as possible. And all of these little things just made the Queen start to like hate her. I don't want to use like that word, but like, what else am I supposed to use? So obviously there has to be a public announcement, and the public word is that their driver was extremely intoxicated. Basically what they say happened, this man was he was extremely drunk, way over the limit that he was supposed to be. He was on a bunch of anti-anxiety medication and had a bunch of carbon monoxide, I think, like in his dead body after this car crash, and it's like, that's impossible because, like, he would be dead. He wouldn't have been able to drive or talk or even slur words. Like, he wouldn't be able to stand up. And there was footage of him. He's totally acting fine 15 minutes before the car crash. Basically what happened was Diana and her new fiance, Mohammed Al Thani, and there was a rumor that he had proposed to her, or he was going to propose to her. And this is a huge reason that the Queen might want to have a hit on her, because she could not have anyone of color. You know, Diana was the mother of the future king. They cannot have half siblings who are Muslim. There were rumors that she was pregnant, but that was sort of like unconfirmed. Nobody really knows. Magically, the entire scene was scrubbed clean 4 hours after the incident, right after they were able to clean up the car, clean up everything, you know, the blood, where there could have been potential so much evidence. It took them literally forever to actually get Diana to the hospital. It took like 2 hours for them to even get the ambulance there, and they were performing all of this help on the other people in the car, like the driver and Mohammed, and they were more interested in literally everyone but Diana. And it's insane because one of the paparazzi who was like flooding the situation, a lot of people say that that is why, it's an official story, that the paparazzi is why they got in an accident. I don't know, like that could have been a part of it, but it could have just been a happy coincidence for the Queen, if anything. Literally no one was helping her, so a paparazzi just walked up and started talking to her. At this point, she was dying. If she had been saved right away, or even, you know, fucking not 4 hours after the crash, she very well could have made it. And another thing is, like, she wasn't wearing a seatbelt in the back seat, and people say, well, it was really common back then for people not to wear seatbelts in the back seat. But the weird thing is Dianna insisted on always wearing a seatbelt, and so people think, well, maybe it's more of a believable story if she didn't have her seatbelt on, because obviously the impact of that would just basically save her life. Like, imagine the seatbelt getting you instead of literally being thrown into the front seat through the glass. They had an insane investigation about this. It took like 8 or 12 months. Pretty much all of the evidence, all of the conspiracies were debunked by everyone. They said, no, 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 there is a reason for everything. There is a fucking reason. All of the cameras under this bridge were not operating. That day, they had given a speeding ticket to somebody under that exact bridge, and you could see it on the camera. The first witness on the scene was completely ignored. It's just so horrible because Dianna was at the peak of her life. She just got out of this horrible, horrible situation. She was having an affair because Charles was having an affair, so she was like, well, I guess, like, I'll just get on with my love life. One thing that's really interesting and important for me to talk about is she was also a huge advocate for mental illness of every single kind, depression, and eating disorders, because she had actually developed an eating disorder because of all the pressure that was on her, and she describes it perfectly in an interview. I personally suffer from an unspecified eating disorder. I don't want to call it a full-blown eating disorder because it lasted about like 6 months. Like, I'm talking about this on Instagram if you want to follow me, but I'm sort of relapsing. When I heard the reason that Dianna may have actually developed bulimia was that when they first got married, Charles grabbed her waist when she was wearing the wedding dress and said, oh, like, that's a little big, or something like that. She hated being a royal. She wanted to just help people. She didn't want to deal with all this shit, and she was terrified of the queen. She always said, check under my car for trackers, check all of this stuff. People who heard the scene, because you can't really see the scene under a bridge, said that they kind of heard like an explosion noise, and it kind of sounded like someone put the driving onto neutral or the accelerator. I don't fucking know how stick shift works. England is weird. No, I'm just kidding. I am actually 50% British, so I can say that. What? You know, the ambulance that was super late for no reason? It also took an hour and a half to get to a hospital that was actually only 300 yards away from the hospital. They could have just carried her there faster. So they actually turned the whole story about how this guy was completely under the influence of something, which they actually think could be because they actually just switched his dead body with another guy who had actually committed suicide in a car, and they were like, oh, that's the guy. When investigators saw that they had completely opened this tunnel by 7 a.m., they were like, wait, like, this is for Dianna? Like, they wouldn't even have opened it for someone. They were like, this is for Princess Dianna? So the really fun part about that is that they actually used a sanitizer when they were cleaning it up so that there would be no forensic evidence. Or maybe they were just cleaning it up. They actually had to end up in the trial going in the investigation using the rules that hadn't been changed since Napoleon. The investigators asked for very basic things like basic samples, and everything was denied, and no one knows why. So let me know how you feel about the situation. Please let me know if I missed anything out. There are so many people who are like into this. They're like investigators, researchers, I don't know, professional people who research this, and they're like, no, this doesn't make any sense. The only person who's saying it does make sense is the official word. The whole situation is mortifying. Harry and William had to lose their parents at age like 9 and 15. It was just so sad, and she was just the people's princess, they called her. Like, everybody loved her. Her marriage to Prince Charles was the first TV footage to be viewed more than the moon landing, by far. I just think that I'm pretty set. I'm 100% sure, especially because there's these people who, like, there's the royal family, and then there's like the secret royal family, people who control the royal family, and I feel like the queen she just, like, come on. I used to love her so much. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell if you want to. The question of the day is, what do you think? What percentage are you? Like, do you think this was definitely the work of the royal family, or do you like think I'm like half and half, or like you're crazy, this is a conspiracy? Let me know. So thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, have a good day.